A new season of Loki is finally here, and with it, a whole fresh set of headache-inducing complications regarding the nature of time travel and timeline branching and all that multiversal good stuff. But is Loki actually breaking established MCU rules? For the god of mischief and his fellow compatriots at the Time Variance Authority, like Agent Mobius, the opening minutes of the premiere introduce a major problem for our heroes to solve: time slipping. Painfully and gruesomely pulled through time at random intervals, Loki's unwilling hijinks pose a pretty significant obstacle in his efforts to prevent the destruction of, well, all of time and the very fabric of the universe as we know it. This unexpected addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe's time travel lore actually introduces a whole other wrinkle to the proceedings too. When Loki and Mobius make their way to the TVA's Repairs and Advancement Division, they encounter Ouroboros, aka OB, the only man with even an inkling of how to stop all this time slipping. In the course of one immensely entertaining sequence, we watch as Loki gets pulled into the past and attempts to explain his situation to a much younger OB.
It's impossible to time slip in the TVA.
I know, but we just saw it happen.
Yeah.
He eventually succeeds in getting OB to create the temporal aura extractor conveniently needed to fix this mess in the past, which he then remembers in the present. But wait, doesn't that directly contradict the rules as established in Avengers Endgame, where changing the past doesn't change the future? It's complicated. First, let's address the established lore. In Endgame, Professor Hulk takes great pains to lay out the fact that, scientifically, it's impossible for time travel into the past to affect what happens in the future. Instead, any significant alteration simply creates a new branched timeline where its future is now unwritten and totally up for grabs.
If you travel to the past, that past becomes your future, and your former present becomes the past, which can't now be changed by your new future.
So when the Avengers staged their little time heist to gather all the Infinity Stones to defeat Thanos, they weren't changing their own pasts, they were creating new timelines, which were subsequently set right once Steve Rogers went back to put them all back into their proper places on the timeline. Still confused? Yeah, well, join the club. In fairness, this pretty much lines up with the explanation featured in Loki Season 1, but it's the premiere of Season 2 that potentially throws a wrench into things. If all that is true, how does Loki's conversation with Obi in the past suddenly make it so that he has the temporal aura extractor ready to go in the present? It's apparent that Loki's actions in the past are having an effect in real time in the present, so what gives? The answer, other than just go with it, might be found in the TVA itself. In Season 1, Mobius tells Loki that time doesn't work the same way in the TVA as it does on the sacred timeline. That explains how all the TVA agents, despite the reveal that they're all variants as opposed to original creations of the Timekeepers, can live hundreds and hundreds of years without looking any worse for wear. But it could also provide an easy out for the time-slipping conundrum and Loki's ability to travel into the past and change the future. The TVA's just built differently.
Wow, that makes perfect sense. There's no flaw in that logic.
Of course, the real answer is that the writers simply made the correct choice to throw canon out the window in favor of crafting one of the highlights of the series so far. It's undeniably fun and funny to watch the clever editing tricks cutting back and forth between Mobius and present-day Obi with Loki and past Obi, oftentimes completing each other's sentences while separated by hundreds of years. It would have been writing malpractice to deny viewers such entertainment just because some other vaguely connected MCU movie stipulated different rules for time travel when it was released 4 years ago. In other words, as much as fans like to indulge themselves by falling down lore-filled rabbit holes every now and then with their favorite franchises, let's not get too stuck in the weeds.